This video is gonna be about my Warhammer 40K campaign that has been going on for 2 years. Let's get into it.
There is only war.
The Imperium of Man. A million worlds scattered across an uncaring galaxy. A million worlds forever under threat from the machinations of cursed traitors and perfidious Xenos. It is an empire consumed by war, by the very battle for survival itself. For there is no peace amongst the stars. The Space Marines, genetically modified warriors who know no fear, spearhead every counter-assault, taking the battle to the heart of the foe. From the smoke-wreathed horror of Adeptus Mechanicus Forge Worlds sail warships of fearsome potency, their weapons blessed by the Machine God, and their crews dedicated to the Omnissire's holy cause. The Schola Progenium molds callow flesh into leaders, officers of the Imperial Navy, the greatest fleet ever to span the stars. These heroes dedicate their life to the Imperium's defense, confronting the ceaseless threat of chaos wherever it manifests. The war against the dark gods and their worship.
So the short video you just saw is basically every time introduction to a new mission in our campaign. So our campaign, like I said in the beginning of the video, started 2 years ago. So it started at 21st December at 2022. Little disclaimer at the beginning of the video. These short introduction to missions are put by multiple parts, which are basically sourced from Warhammer TV shows, animations from YouTube, and animations from games around Warhammer 40K. And the credit to those animations belongs to their original owners and not to me. Just want to point that out. I'm not trying to take ownership of any of this. I'm just trying to use them to show people, and my friends especially, and get them a little more into the world of Warhammer 40K. So now we got that out of the way, we can look into the first mission, which basically was played by my 3 friends. It was our first game of Warhammer 40K. It was a co-op mission of Ultramarines and Space Wolves, trying to destroy the Tomb World or take over the Tomb World of Necrons. So like you can see on the screen, you can see the system that we are fighting in. You can see even the fortresses and the planets that we are using and attacking. Like in this one, you can see the Space Wolves are coming from the planet Icefang, and the Ultramarines are coming from the 4th Nexus, attacking the Tomb World called the Shoutout. So here you can see how we set up our table, how we set up our miniatures. Basically, even in the second picture, you can see the final miniatures that were standing. So you can guess who probably won. The Space Wolves won the game with the help of the Ultramarines, but it was pretty close. The final point count was 21 points for Alliance of Imperium and 20 points for Necrons. With the mission 1 concluded in the story, the Space Wolves didn't want it to stay on the new captured world and build basically new bases and take a hold of it, and they decided to go back to recuperate in their home planet. But in the mission 2, they were ambushed by the slimy Death Guard, and the Necrons came back for their world. So basically, the ones who were defending the world were the leftover Ultramarines. So in the mission 2, as you can see, we will have 2 fights. So 1v1 Death Guard versus Space Wolves, and then Necrons versus Ultramarines. So like I said, these were 2 different battles on 2 different tables. So basically, the Space Wolves were fighting the Death Guard, and the Ultramarines were holding against the Necrons. The final outcome of these battles were the victory for both Imperial armies, and they both win. The Space Wolves won 9 to 6 points, and the Ultramarines won 26 to 15 points. With Space Wolves and Ultramarines successful from the previous mission, and especially the Ultramarines taking foothold of the tomb world of Shoutout, they felt like they should destroy the Necrons that dare to attack the new captured world. So they decided to combine their attack and attack the Necrons, and the Death Guard decided to show up at the late game stage to wreak havoc too. In this mission, Necrons managed to hold against the force of Space Marines, and they managed to hold their planet and keep it in the sector, and they won by 25 points to 20. With the Imperium and Ultramarines holding the Shoutout for so long, they managed to change the world into industrial world, so using those tomb worlds for their industry and to fuel their engines. And the Necrons didn't like it, so that's what they decided in the mission 4, so it's time to take their home back. With this battle being very close, Ultramarines trying to hold their new home or new defenses, they tried their best but they couldn't stop the Necrons, and it was so close. The Necrons won just by 1 point, so the final score was 19 to 18 for Necrons. In the meantime, Death Guard managed to take over some unprotected worlds and managed to grow in strength. And with that, even with the Necrons growing in the strength and taking their homes back, they both decided it's time to take on the Space Wolves. So they will attack home base called Icefang and gonna try to get rid of them from this sector. With the battle for Icefang, it took multiple missions. Honestly, it was total 3 missions, so it was mission 5, 6 and 7, and it was basically the battle for the Icefang and the surrounded space. And in the first one, it was a victory for Space Wolves. After that, Space Wolves tried to reach out to the space, but they were stopped by the Death Guard, and then they were again attacked by the might of the Death Guard, but they managed to withhold. So this took in 3 missions total. In this mission, Necrons are trying to take the matter in their own hands and attacking the Death Guard, not knowing the Space Wolves and Ultramarines have the same idea. While they're being already on the planet, knowing that the Space Marines are coming, they decided to cease fire with the Death Guard so they could together get rid of the Space Marines and maybe later try to get rid of the Death Guard themselves too. With this unexpected alliance, the battle was fought 2 versus 2, so it was a Death Guard and Necrons against the Ultramarines and Space Wolves. And it was so close a battle, it ended up 35 to 32 in a favor of Death Guard and Necrons. I couldn't forget to mention this unsunken hero from this battle, the Sergeant from the Intercessor Squad that wouldn't fall to the plague of Death Guard and kept on holding point for his Emperor. In Mission 9, Necrons tried to take the control of the Death Guard controlled Randorian Alpha, but they didn't manage to do so, and so they had to go into defensive back into their planet Tarkon. With that, Death Guard took the attacking step and attacked the Tarkon, with even including the Space Marines trying to get rid of the vermin from the system, so even the Space Wolves and Ultramarines joining into this one big battle, not knowing that the Death Guard is now being led by the Primarch himself, Mortarion. So that's it for this video. The outcome of the Mission 10 we're gonna be talking about in the next part. Yes, there's gonna be a next part. You're asking how many parts is there gonna be. So far, we have played out 19 missions in total. The 20th is to be played out this December. So there are many more probably parts to come in the future. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. In the comments, write what you think. Who do you think is gonna take the system or this part of the system? What's gonna be happening? You never know who's gonna come. Maybe some new Space Marines, maybe some new factions. You never know. So this is our campaign. Like I said, I have been playing this campaign for 2 years now. Hopefully we're gonna be playing even few more. With that in mind, we have many more factions. Like I said, I own myself 15 factions. Yeah, that's crazy, but yeah, it's 15 factions. So far I think you saw 4 or 5 in this video, so there's gonna be many more factions coming by. A mix of factions, mix of story, what's gonna be happening. And I hope you enjoyed this video as we enjoy playing these games and having fun around it. So, and maybe this just will inspire you to do something like this. I will leave a link down in the description how I get the map, from who I'm getting it, and the description how you can use the map and so on. So you will have link and everything in the description under the video. So the map we are using is from the community, from the people. I am not the person who made it, so you can feel free to use it too. And I wish for you to have as much fun with your campaign that you're gonna design and play with your friends, to have as much fun as we do. So yeah, good luck, have fun, enjoy your hobby, and thanks for watching.